Hello, this is Jeff Johnson, creator of WeatherMaker. I've added a procedural sky in WeatherMaker 1.4 and a procedural sun. I think this is going to really make the asset awesome, so let's dive right in. I'd like to demo this for you. First thing you need to do is get that prefab into your scene. The demo scene has already done this. So on WeatherMaker prefab there's a sky sphere object. This is where all the magic happens. There's two new properties: sky mode and sun mode. Let's look at sun mode first, since it's pretty simple. Right now you can see there's a sun in the sky here. That's represented by this sun object. There's a lens flare on this object, which you can toggle on and off depending on whether you like the lens flare or not. I like the lens flare, but there's cases where you may want to turn it off. So let's get back to the sky sphere. So we've got this high quality rendered sun. You can also switch to a fast sun, and finally you can go and just turn the sun off, in which case you'll probably also want to turn the lens flare off. Now you'll notice that lens flare looked a little bit funny, but that's because it's in the designer view. and the play view it looks a lot better and is lined up properly. So don't worry if the design view is a little off-centered, that's normal. Okay, back to the sky sphere. Let's turn the sun back to high quality. And let's just demonstrate that lens flare. So what this lens flare is going to do is, as the sun approaches the edge of something, you can already see the lens flare shooting out there below the mountain. As the sun starts to dip, you get kind of this light shooting out of the sun, and then as it goes below, the lens flare will turn off. So it's a really nice effect as that sun dips below an object to simulate kind of a really bright light. Okay, let's take a look at these sky options. We have the textured sky, which is how WeatherMaker has always worked. That gives you your day texture, dawn, dusk, and night texture. I'll just quickly demo that in case you're not familiar with this. As the sun gets close to the horizon, it'll start fading in the dawn-dusk texture, which I have duplicated as the day texture with some orange and maroon and all these colors that you're seeing in the sky. As the sun goes further down, it starts transitioning to your night texture, and then fully to the night texture. Okay. So that's the textured sky. That's how WeatherMaker's always worked. But now there's two new options. So let's take a look at the procedural sky. This is very similar to Unity's procedural sky, but I've tried to make some enhancements to it as well. So here's our sun, and we have a fully procedural sky. And right now I'm using linear color space, but you may be using gamma color space, and if you are, things might look a little bit different. I think that's actually configured in player settings. Oh, we can't change it while we're running, so we'll stop running. Change it to gamma and rerun so you can see the difference of gamma. The gamma is kind of more blue and the linear is more kind of sky blue, so depending on what you want for your look and feel, you may want to just change that. So there's our procedural sky with gamma color space, a little bit more blue, but as the sun goes below now, and I should probably be looking at this in the player so the lens flare lines up properly. In fact, the lens flare is looking a little bit too big, so if the lens flare ends up being too big, you can turn down the brightness on it and then it should match up a little better. Okay, so as that sun goes down, the procedural sky takes over, doing those nice orange yellow colors at the horizon, and then of course even the procedural sky will still transition to your night texture for a very nice nighttime effect. So you can see that transition there, it's very nice. Okay, so that's the procedural sky. With the procedural sky, if you have a couple options for clouds, you can use the WeatherMaker built-in storm clouds, and right now that's the only types of clouds you've got. Otherwise you'll have to provide your own. I'm working on procedural clouds, so I'm hoping some time in the next few months to ship something with procedural clouds in it. So I'm really excited about that. But for now, if you're using just the procedural sky, you'll have to add your own clouds. There's a third option, procedural textured. So this option is very interesting. It allows you to have a translucent day and translucent dawn-dusk texture, and it will overlay these on top of the procedural sky. So let me demonstrate that. We've got translucent clouds here for sphere mode. Now you can see you've got this procedural sky behind these clouds. I should probably open this texture so it makes more sense to you. I think I just used paint.net. So there's the dawn-dusk clouds, and here are the day clouds. So you'll notice that as I go to dawn-dusk, the clouds will get kind of orangey, and so let's just demonstrate that now. Okay, so we're at daytime now. You can see the sun is really lighting up these clouds nicely. As the sun goes below the horizon, these clouds are going to change to that nice, oh, looks like I need to set a second texture. Yep, I need to set translucent dawn-dusk clouds. Okay, so there we go. As the sun dips down, you see the clouds turning that nice orange color and fading out. Now, I obviously am not an artist. You can see some artifacts as I recolored those clouds. Sorry about that. It's really just for demo purposes to show you how you can change the texture and see the day, dawn, dusk, and night transition, all with a procedural sky in the background. So what you would probably want to do is have your artist make you some really nice looking clouds for the day and the dawn dusk, and then that would look a lot nicer than what I've got here. Maybe if we go over to this side, it'll look a little better. Yeah, these don't have as many artifacts on the edges, but that's just my sloppy recoloring. Okay, so that's the procedural textured sky where you can use your own clouds and have the procedural sky in the background. So any transparent areas or translucent areas will blend with that procedural sky. So I really think this is going to be awesome for your skies. You'll be able to take full advantage of the procedural sky, but also be able to provide your own clouds or anything else that you want in the sky. And I think this is going to really look great in your games. That's pretty much it for this demo. I really am excited about the next feature, which is going to be forecasts. You'll be able to set up your climates and percent chances of various things, and WeatherMaker will just create all the weather for you. So that's what I'm planning on doing next, and then probably procedural fog and clouds after that. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the procedural sky and new sun. If you have any questions, please email support@digitalruby.com. I will be very happy to answer your questions. Thank you.